A biblical perspective on life, culture and current events. This is 2020 on Vision.
The very first ever Australian's Christian Teacher of the Year award has been announced. It's a prestigious award, announced at the National Policy Forum in Canberra in front of an audience of principals from across the nation. The judging panel, consisting of leaders from Christian Schools Australia, Christian Heritage College, Adventist Schools Australia and Associated Christian Schools. James Mathews is a dedicated educator from Belgrave Heights Christian School in Victoria. He was selected by an expert judging panel from teachers around Australia, and James Mathews is joining us. James, a special welcome along to 2020.
Thanks for having me, Neil.
Hey, James, this is the Inaugural Award. How do you feel about winning it?
I feel ecstatic. I am absolutely amazed that they chose me, but also that I can show what teachers do. Teachers can have a range of innovations, and they can manage projects and lead students to transformation through that.
I imagine the principal and any other leadership at your school there at Belgrave Heights Christian School in Victoria were pretty impressed that you were the winner.
Oh man, there was a huge party here when I got back from Canberra, back to Melbourne. They had party poppers and all sorts of things, and it was a really great vibe here at Belgrave Heights Christian School. We had an amazing celebration because of this.
Now, I know there'll be listeners interested in what these special qualities are that you possess that drew the attention of the judges to you. And a couple of little notes I've got here that you highlight just how important it is getting off screens and out into God's creation for this new generation. How do you describe the sort of focus you have as a teacher in helping that happen?
So I see myself as just a normal guy doing his job, but in that, I feel like I've got a special calling to getting students outside. It's so easy these days for kids to spend their weekends at home on video games and watching movies and all those sorts of things, which are good things in themselves, but I believe we're overstimulated with those things these days. So I do everything I can to get the students out of the classroom and get them into the outdoors, seeing God's creation and enjoying it for what it is.
Now, you are a little bit specialised, aren't you? Because you're an environmental studies teacher and you teach from the littlest ones in prep up to year 6. What sort of things do you do with the kids?
Yeah, so with environmental studies, we have a range of activities. I have years 1, 3 and 5. They all work in the garden. So they have a session with me every fortnight, a double session, and they learn everything from what it means to grow a seed and then go do it and bring it to a vegetable. And then we endeavor to cook up that vegetable in our garden. I have an outdoor kitchen there, and they learn all about food preparation as well in that session. So that's years 1, 3, and 5. And then prep, year 2, year 4, and year 6, they do creek study activities. So we've got 800 metres of creek frontage on our site. And basically they do investigations along that creek and understand what a healthy environment is and how we can maintain a healthy environment at our creek.
In fact, you've got platypi in your creek, haven't you? And the sort of work you do with the students helps to encourage the environmental, I guess you'd call it the health of the creek, so that the platypi can, in fact, flourish there.
Yes. So the platypus is a really important indicator of health of our creek. We have two platypi colonies, one at each end of the school in two different bodies of water, and they migrate between those two locations in front of our school. And we do a whole lot of native and indigenous plantings throughout the year. We plant over 2,000 native and indigenous plants with our students throughout the year, which is a brilliant thing to do.
I note that the judges recognise that what you do, James, challenges traditional pedagogy. Now, there's some school education terms in that word pedagogy, but challenging the way that those students are learning and engaging in this impact with nature. I mean, this is something a little bit different to what you might think of it as a traditional classroom?
Yes, it is definitely different to a traditional classroom. I, as a student myself, when I was in school, I remember sitting in biology classes learning about trees and being very, very bored. When I was sitting in the class, looking out the window at a tree, and I was thinking, why can't somebody just take me outside and look at that tree and I'll investigate it that way? And so I found that when I started taking students outside to show them the tree, their light bulbs in their minds went on. They became excited about learning. They were engaged with the tree and they understood what it meant for the environment.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because everywhere you turn, people are talking about anxiety and mental health issues and children growing up in a digitised world. And some of these challenges, people are looking for answers. And while I'm not expecting you to be the expert on all of that, in some sense, it seems to be what you do contributes to a connection with nature and therefore connection to God, who is transcendent above that. But how about the faith aspect in what you do? Do kids appreciate that there's a connection between the good things you're doing outdoors and knowing God?
I try very hard to make that connection for the students. We are made into an outdoor environment. And when we are standing in a forest or whatever, we are having a connection with God where we're experiencing something He's created, obviously. And so I try very hard to show the students that when they are standing in nature, when they're standing in His creation, they are having an experience of what God has made. And so and then I connect that with the Bible and make sure that they understand that tree that I've taken them to, that is flourishing because it is beside a stream of water, that's just like in Psalm 1, how the Bible says, happy is that person who is like that tree in a flourishing environment. Happy is that person. And so when the students see the flourishing tree, they go, oh, yeah, I want my life to be like that. I don't want to be anxious. I want to be flourishing. I want to be impacting people in a good space. And I feel like that's exactly what the outdoor environment gives us.
James, it's a prestigious award and it's going to be sought after in the years ahead. I wonder if you've got any reflection on being a Christian school teacher. I mean, you could be just, putting your Christianity a little bit hidden and off teaching in a public school, a state school, but you're teaching in a Christian school. How do you describe being a teacher in a Christian school in this day and age?
I feel that what I said to the rest of the staff when I arrived back from Canberra and Melbourne, I said to them, being a Christian teacher is the best job in the world, hands down. And so for this award to celebrate Christian teachers and their stories and how they're impacting people to love Jesus is the best thing. I think that I'm so pleased that Christian Heritage College has put it together and that CSA is behind it, and so that in future years, Christian teachers and their stories can be celebrated.
Well, James Mathews is a dedicated teacher from Belgrave Heights Christian School in Victoria. He was selected by an expert judging panel from teachers around Australia. He is the Christian Teacher of the Year. And special congratulations to you, James. And I think there was a little prize award that came along with that, a cash prize of $5,000 too. So just fabulous to be able to talk to you and to get your insights. Congratulations again, and thanks so much for giving us an insight into what it is to be a Christian teacher. Thanks very much, James.
Thank you so much, Neil.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.